Hi there, I'm Erin, and welcome to what I'm calling a book swap. As you can see, I'm not in my usual place. I'm actually at my parents' house, which holds a lot of the books that I grew up with, some that I actually haven't read yet, and maybe some that I'll take back home with me. But in order to do that, I had to look at the books in my apartment collection and see if there are ones that I wanted to unhaul and just store here because I still wanted to keep them. So that brings me to these 6 books that I've decided I don't need in my apartment, but I still want to keep them. And later we can pick and choose some from the bookshelves here that I might want to take back with me. I'm not going to get into these super heavily just because some of them I've read a while ago, some of them I've already touched on, and some are very, very, very dense. That might make this video really long, so I don't need to do that today. So starting with these 2, I will never ever get rid of them because they were gifted to me from my mom, signed by the author, and they actually are set in my hometown of La Crosse, Wisconsin. So they're just super special edition books, and I think the watercolor of these covers are just beautiful, especially this one. So like I said, these books are set in La Crosse, Wisconsin, following a group of 4 cousins who are dealing with their own challenges within their lives, but rely heavily on the bonds that they have with each other. And it's just a really beautiful, easy, quick family dynamic read that, you know, just gets me in my feels because I'm really close with my family and it's awesome to read about the city that I grew up in. It also kind of reminds me of Little Women. Not that I've read it, but just from what I've seen in the movies and what I've heard about it, it's just very close-knit bonds of 4 women that is just really nice to read about. I rated both of these 3 stars just because they were a solid read and just really cool and really beautiful. So I will never get rid of these. Sorry, I forgot to mention, these 2 books are by Amanda Zaba, and the first one is Close Quarters, and the second one is Close Quarters, A Pivotal Pause. So just the second chapter in their lives. Yeah, really good. I wonder if she'll come out with more. So moving on to the next one, this is The Body Keeps the Score, Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma by Bessel van der Kolk. This is so dense, I cannot even begin to get into this, but it was really interesting to read about the different forms of trauma and how it can actually stay within your body, and it goes through kind of the science of it all, different patients that he studied and worked with over his years, and also goes into some healing methods at the very, at the second half of the book. So really interesting, really dense, but yeah, this one took me about 6 months to read just because I needed to actually digest this. But yeah, I just thought this was a really good, challenging read that educated me more on trauma and gave me more empathy to the survivors. So yeah. So these 2 I'm going to briefly mention because I've actually covered them in depth in other videos, so please go check those out. This is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, amazing, and this is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I believe I rated this one a 3 out of 5 and this one a 5 out of 5. It's one of my top reads of all time. I love it so much. Definitely check out the TV series, it was so good. But I'm unhauling this one because I want my sister to read it, so I needed to bring it home. And this one is actually from my sister that I read from her recommendation, so I'm just bringing it back to her. But both good reads, but definitely check out the other videos to look at what I thought about both of them and what they're about. So, yeah. The last one in this pile is On Earth We Were Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. This is so beautiful and so poetic. I tabbed and underlined all of my favorite parts, so I definitely want to keep it in my collection. So this is a letter from a son to his mother who cannot read due to she does not read English. It talks about his family history within Vietnam, and it's a really honest exploration of race, class, masculinity, and our current American moment. So really powerful passages in here that kind of, made my jaw drop of awe of how poetic it was, but how real and how honest it actually was. So it's amazing. I highly recommend it. So yeah, these are the 6 that I'm unhauling from my apartment but keeping at my parents' house. Now let's do the fun bit and go through all the books here and see if I want to take any back with me. Hopefully you can see me. I'll just be awkwardly in this corner. But let's go through this first one. I'm not sure which ones I'll pick from here, but we can just talk about some of them. But yeah, obviously there are a couple of Harry Potter editions because I am a collection addict and I'm not afraid to admit it. Do I even want to read any from this? I don't know. We have Ready Player One. I thought that was a good read. Definitely like the movie better somehow. I don't know how, but obviously. All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. So amazing. Highly recommend. I need to read his other one. My lovely Twilight collection that I've had since, oh my gosh, I don't even know, middle school maybe. I think one of these has our names on it. Me and my sister, I mean. My original Harry Potter collection that I still have my twirly name inside. Aaron Ramsey from Mom and Dad, if you can see. Love that. Actually, I've not read this one. It's Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. And I think it's somehow about all the children that go missing within the United States. And that's all I really know about it. I might take this one. It sounds really interesting. And I need to read it. I remember I picked it up a couple years ago. So that's adding to my list. I read all these. 50 Shades, How Funny. I don't think you can see that well. I'll try to bring you down here for a bit. Water for Elephants I loved. I have the full Game of Thrones in these cute little editions. I know I need to read them, but to me this is a winter read. And then there's this one, The Supermarket. Gonna bring you back up here. Hello. Okay. The Supermarket. And I got this because I liked the cover. It's plain, but it's weirdly interesting at the same time, so I don't know if it's the primary color palette. So I believe this is about a man who's working at a supermarket who one day walks into a crime scene, and it unfolds from there. So it says it's a darkly funny psychological thriller, which I need to expand my reading to different genres, so I think this will be a good one to bring back and hopefully read this summer. But yeah, I think for this bookshelf, that's all I feel like bringing back with me. Cool. 2. So we got these 2. Let's go to the next one. So I apologize for the weird frame, lighting, sound. We're in my closet and there's really no good, spot to put a camera. So here's what I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna flip the camera as I'm showing and talking about the books that I might be interested in, and then I'll flip it back around to really get into the ones that I'm picking to bring back with me. Cool? Cool. Let's do it. Obviously I have my Little House on the Prairie books because they're fun and I've had them since I was little, so I'm not going to get rid of them. So this is one that I'm really interested in bringing home with me. It's The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. I literally got it years ago and I never read it. I can't even remember if I got it before or after I saw the movie. But I loved the cover. And if I'm not mistaken, this is from Borders, which means it's really old. Because that bookstore isn't even around anymore, right? Wow, I need to read this. So, and I need to expand my book genre, whatever you want to call it. So I think that we're going to go with this one. So I'm going to set that to the side. Looking at all the other ones, obviously I have my Nancy Drew, So Be It. This is another one that I have actually never read. The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. I need to, because I need to get into more thrillers. Know that there's a movie about it too, but I didn't see that either, so will be good for me. Setting that up here. And these are just kind of other books that I use for decoration, especially for Halloween. So I don't want to get into those. Here's another one, The Host by Stephenie Meyer. I remember loving this book, and I kind of want to get into it because it's kind of sci-fi fantasy. And I think that that will be fun to read when I just want some mindless reading. It's kind of it's a hefty book, but yeah, let's do this one too. I don't want any of these. And then going through here. Do I want to bring any of these? No, because I've read these recently. Or do I want to read House Rules? Okay, I remember also loving this, reading it in the car, and I just thought it was so good about an autistic kid helping with a murder. So I think that will be great. So these are the 4 that I'm taking from my closet shelves. Cool? Cool. Okay, so I say that that's a successful book swap. I'm replacing the 6 that I brought home from my apartment with these 6 from my shelves at my parents' house. I'm really excited to reread the ones that I have like years ago and get to the ones I actually have not read, which is kind of crazy, but I'm sure my mom's very proud of me. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'm sending positivity wherever you are, and I'm sure we'll talk soon. Bye!